All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory. Nuti Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the artists of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, I'm just going to simply entitle this lesson, This Will Be the New Normal, because as we know, we're in the time where the mark of the beast, the prophecy of the mark of the beast that is spoken of in Revelation chapter 13 is, soon going to come to pass, because that's pretty much what, things are leading up to, the mass implementation of the mark of the beast, because people are pretty much already ready, to receive it, People are, gradually, being led away from paying for things with cash, and only paying for things digitally, because everything is pretty much paid digitally, nowadays. People rarely carry cash anymore, and everything is pretty much paid online. So I'm just going to play these 3 clips. And then I'm going to bring out a couple of scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. So I'm going to play this first one.
This man's saying that he don't got to use no credit card or nothing to pay for this water right here.
Oh, I didn't know if you needed help or anything. Bye, take care.
Oh, I got my, okay, thank you. Whoa, wait a minute.
Barcode accepted. Select payment type. Barcode accepted.
What barcode? Hold on.
Soon you will be able to pay for groceries at every Whole Foods in the U.S. with just a swipe of your hand. Amazon says that the Pay by Palm technology will be at all of those stores nationwide by the end of the year. Customers just have to hover their hand over the device to pay. This method is already being used at 200 Whole Foods locations across 20 states, and you can also find it in other places, stores like Panera Bread.
So I'm going to show you how I pay for my drink here in China. We can cater. So I use my. You see that? All I used was my hand, and that was it. Hello,
This man's saying
This will be the new normal. Pretty much paying for things with your hand. Now, right now, those individuals didn't have the chip, but still, they have the technology now where you can have, your credit card information pretty much, linked to an account, and you can just use the palm of your hand to pay for it, because they have that at, Amazon Go or Amazon One, just like it said, Whole Foods has it, Kroger is now starting to use facial recognition, technology, and it says even Panera Bread. So, again, man, they're getting people ready for the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, So let's play this next one.
What happened?
They won't open. Can't you unlock it? What do you have to do now? I have to do the ID to unlock it. No, well, what do you do it? How do you scan it?
I don't know.
Oh, over here?
You have to place it face down, baby.
Oh,
The
face
other way.
down?
See? Like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Scan
And
it.
again.
No, el vato quiere beer y no sabe ni scan la ID.
Okay, this is my first time ever doing this.
Select what door you want. Oh
Door
my god.
6. November 6th.
Oh, you win $1,000.
Unlock door. Look, now I can open it.
And as you can see, I'm assuming that this was somewhere down in Texas, because that Issachar, right, had a cowboy shirt on. But that's beside the point. But the point is, he had to scan his ID to be able to open that cooler, with the beer in it, which is somewhat understandable, because, it's alcohol, but at the same time, why should you have to scan your ID when that's pretty much what the cashiers do? They card you if you look, under the age of 21, or even if you are 21, you still get carded in certain places, but he had to scan his ID in order to be able to open that cooler, with the beer. But again, that's going to be the new normal, where you won't be able to buy and sell or even access certain things unless you have that RFID technology, So before I play, matter of fact, I'm just going to play this last clip. It's going to be about, 7 minutes, so I'm going to play that last clip and then I'm going to bring out the scriptures.
Transaction approved.
That pill, if you want to call it that, intelligent pill, at the time was already small enough by then to implant under the skin with a horse needle, a large hypodermic needle. And I was shown these, and they worked. And we could read them with a primitive hand wand type reader from about 7 or 8 feet away. And this was still primitive technology. Excuse me. Now, at the time in the security industry, a lot of us had a lot of concerns about tracking and locating people that had been kidnapped, particularly what was going on in Europe at the time, where we were having NATO officers, even the Prime Minister of Italy, kidnapped. And these people were drained, or they were brutalized, or both. And one of the goals of the industry was to develop technology that would allow us to track these people or locate them quickly. Hopefully to save their lives, but on a secondary basis to keep them from being drained of sensitive information. And I brought this technology to a meeting in a skiff room in Virginia that was arranged by a friend of mine with the CIA and another friend of mine with the State Department at the time to introduce this technology to what we felt at the time were the right parties to use this new technology responsibly. Now, I hadn't heard about the remnant or any other religious beliefs at the time that said that everybody was going to be implanted with some sort of marking system, la the Beast or 666. I wasn't even aware of that stuff at the time. And I was taking this as a serious solution to a potentially a problem that would not go away. And it was interesting, we met in this room, and because of the tight meetings we were involved with, certain people would not give you their full name or where they came from. I just had to trust that my two contacts had contacted the right parties to be there at the right time, and that they would all be responsible individuals. There was a mistake. After that meeting, I discovered that 2 of the people in the meeting had never been asked there, yet they knew about the meeting. They knew what it was about. They knew who was going to be there. And later research indicated that one of them actually worked for the Department of Agriculture and one of them worked for the Department of the Treasury. What prompted our looking at these 2 men was that the way they asked the questions they asked, the attitude behind them, even the body language, indicated that they had reasons for the use of this technology other than the one that was intended at the meeting. In fact, their largest concern was, how fast could we make a couple billion of them? And could we give each one of those a unique identity number? Now, this particular pill-shaped device, very minute, had a lot of flexibility in its capabilities. It was basically just almost a transponder. You would send a frequency to it, and it would respond back with its unique number, which could not be changed once the chip was made. Yet there were a lot of capabilities that could be added to this chip, such as monitoring temperature, blood pressure, pulse, and even waveforms out of the brain. But that was for research down the road. What was amusing to me a few months ago on a website that likes to collect articles on the unusual is that a lady out east had a chip removed from her body in 1999. And they had it blown up on the website. And it was a slight modification of this chip from Denver with some of its enhancements. And it was put in her, she believes, in either 1980 or 1981. What was amusing about this was that this gentleman never had to worry about money again. And he quietly passed on a lot of this technology to somebody we never knew. And this concerned my contacts in Washington because it never went anywhere with them. Somebody else took it and ran with it, and we never knew who it was. Now, in 1984, I found another technology by just sniffing the web, sniffing the literature of our industry and a dozen other industries, and I found that there was a professor at the University of New South Wales, where I still have the files on, that had discovered a way to make a microscopic lithium niobate chip. And by accident, he had scratched it. And he had a RF transmitter there. And he had a receiver on by sheer chance. And he found that on a certain frequency, he could send an energy beam to the chip. And it would respond back with a number. He worked on that technology. And that technology, eventually, I found out about. We flew him into Denver to our company, Systems Group of Colorado, and we did a test. He had some primitive small chips he brought with him. They are totally passive and very small, 32nd of an inch, and only a couple thousandths thick. And by etching them, you could, again, create a unique signature, unique to each one. And this one theoretically could, depending on the size of it and the size of the etching, could have a unique number in the billions and billions. In fact, the test we did was amusing in that we set up a transmitter and a receiver based on removing a air grill from our drop ceiling and plugging up our transceiver into that as our antenna. And we were able to read that thing glued to a little piece of cardboard from 100 feet away with a piece of grill out of a drop ceiling, which is a pretty primitive antenna. Because we didn't know what frequency it was dealing with, so we had to come up with some kind of instant generic antenna. We were so impressed with the capabilities of this. It would read through thin layers of material, like thin plywood. And we were so impressed that, again, I felt that this was a technology that truly had some value. Because we also discovered in some testing that the papers work he had with him, that if we had a microscopic coil antenna with this, that we could read this from a mile away. And his later on analysis, a few weeks later, he got back to me and said that if we had an antenna, a coil antenna 2 inches in diameter with a chip in the middle, and that what the antenna is actually doing is acting as an amplifier to a great extent. And that what sends back out is a harmonic of the original frequency. That his numbers crunching showed that he could read this thing from 120 kilometers in space. And that there were other attributes of this chip that could be tied into it, especially if it was powered in some minute way.
And there you have it. You know, you pretty much have this individual letting you know what initially, you know, the microchip was created for, to be able to, you know, track people. You know, if someone was lost or if they got kidnapped, you know, or if anything happened, you know, they would be able to track them, you know, and find them. But now not only is that device only going to be able to track you wherever you are, that's what you're going to have to use to be able to buy and sell. Once this society collapses and the dollar crashes, that's going to be the only mode of buying and selling, that RFID microchip. And he pretty much told you, he even mentioned, Revelation. And indeed, man, these devils know, they know that that device is the mark of the beast. And you still have, leaders of these other Israelite groups that are misleading their congregation and telling them that the mark of the beast is everything else except for what it really is, which is the RFID microchip, man. That's what it is. You can't buy and sell with sin. You can't buy and sell with, sleeping with white women. You can't, like all these other things, all these other things they say the mark of the beast is. You can't buy and sell with those things, man. But you can buy and sell with that RFID technology. This is the reason why they're setting up these smart cities. This is the reason why they're, coming up with these central bank digital currencies, man. These one world currencies, if you will, which everything is going to be digital, so it can be tracked. You can't track, every single dollar being spent, because if you were to buy, something from someone, you can't track a private sale, but that's ultimately what the elites want to do is, it's the ultimate form of control, to be able to pretty much monitor what everyone is doing, They want to be like the Most High, pursuing to Isaiah chapter 14, they want to be like the Most High. They want to be all knowing. They want to be all seeing, They pretty much want to see what everyone on the earth is doing, by way of that device, which everyone isn't going to get it, but a good majority of people are going to get it, and they're going to be judged extremely harshly for it, So, getting straight to it, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 15. Says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And the image, being the New World Order, which pretty much, again, America is patterned after ancient Rome, because that's pretty much what, that old, the beast is, man, the ancient Roman Empire, coming back as America. But again, the image being the New World Order, man. And what's a part of that New World Order? This chip, And as it says, and calls that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So yes, man, everyone isn't going to get it. The elect of the nation of Israel, they aren't going to get it. You may even have certain, civilians that may not receive it, but ultimately, they're going to be put to death, because certain of the elect, they will be beheaded for the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai, but they'll be risen up upon his return, But that's ultimately what the elites want to do. Those that don't comply, with this New World Order, that don't want to receive that microchip, they ultimately want to put them to death. This is why they're bringing back, guillotines, to just cut off people's heads instead of, having firing squads just, off people, which they'll still have those because, your president-to-be, Donald Trump, he wants to bring that back. He wants to bring firing squads back, But they still also have, if I'm not mistaken, 30,000 or so guillotines, waiting and ready to go. Verse 16 says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that's the point, man. People are ultimately going to get that chip in their hands or in their foreheads. Now it says right hand here, but you can get it in either hand. Whichever is your dominant hand, that's where people are going to get it, primarily in their right hand, man. But for the people that are, paralyzed or handicapped, they're going to get it in their head. Hence, Elon Musk with, the Neuralink, the brain chip. That's how, people are going to get it, that device either in their hand or in their forehead, man, or in their head, and that's how you're going to be able to buy and sell. That first clip alone showed you, even though, again, those individuals didn't have it, once they get it, that's the only way you're going to be able to buy and sell in the next world to come, if you will, because this is the system that the elites want, this all digital system where they can track everything that you're spending your money on, man. They want to be able to control how much money you get and how much you're able to spend, and if you don't comply, they can just turn it off, just like, the famous interview between Aaron Russo and Alex Jones, because that's pretty much what was mentioned, man. If, you make the elites angry, you don't do what they tell you to do, they can just turn your chip off, and starve you out that way. Because people are going to be desperate, because there's going to be a famine out here. Not that there's not going to be any food, but there's going to be a lack of it, And that's one way people are going to end up getting, chipped. They're going to be starved into submission, or they want to go back to, living a quote unquote normal life, when this life that we're living now, this is the new normal, and eventually paying for things with your hand is going to be the new normal, So I'm going to stay in the book of Revelation, it's like staying in the book of Revelation, but I'm going to jump to chapter 3, because again, everyone won't get it, but everyone else that's outside of the elect that don't get it, they're still doomed anyway, even if they're Israelites, they're still doomed because they're not of the elect, anyone that's left here in America, once the mass implementation of the mark of the beast is made mandatory and a good majority of people get it, man, even those that don't get it, that are not of the elect, they won't be saved, So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 10. And it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So yes, man, everyone is going to be tried. We're all going to have to face that decision on whether or not we're going to receive, that device, or ultimately, trust in the Lord, man, because that's really the only two options you have, to submit and bow the knee to the will of the elites, or to trust in the Lord that He's going to deliver you, keeping the word of His patience, like it says, man, because the Lord is going to be with His elect, man. Those that are slated to be saved are going to be saved, man. The elect will have to go through particular hardships, before their deliverance, but the Lord is still going to be with them, to get them through. But for those that get the mark of the beast, man, there is a penalty for it, man. There is a penalty for receiving the mark of the beast. So I'm going to jump to Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And you clearly see the headline reads, doom for worshippers of the beast. So anyone that gets the mark of the beast is doomed, ultimately. Even those that don't get it, that aren't of the elect, they're doomed too. But especially those that get this chip. So this is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, and worship the beast and his image, and whoso receiveth the mark of his name. And yes, that's ultimately going to be the judgment of those that receive the mark of the beast. They're going to be burned alive, in the lake of fire, which is going to be brought about by way of, ICBM missiles pelting America. This is not talking about a literal hell, that's underground burning with fire. No. The lake of fire is going to be, an entire landmass. The whole country of America from New York to California, is going to be on fire, and those that receive the mark of the beast, they're going to be in it, they're doomed. And like it says, they're going to be tormented with that fire in the presence of the angels and in the presence of the Lord, man. Because again, the angels, they're going to be in their chariots aiding, by even shooting lasers down on this place, helping to destroy Babylon, and then our Lord Yahweh Shai, primarily, he's going to be leading the charge, man, so all the people that worship the image of the beast, again, the angels and the Lord, they're going to see it, the elect are even going to see it, man, and that's their judgment, so for anyone that receives the mark of the beast is doomed. You already have people, in certain European countries, I know for sure, Switzerland, I want to say, and I think Sweden, or no, Slovakia. Well, I think Sweden, if not Sweden, Switzerland is either one of those, but I know for sure New Zealand as well. They already have it out there. They already, are the head of America, as far as people already using that technology, but they're gradually getting the people over here in Babylon ready, to receive it. We just have to wait and see exactly how they're going to do it, So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say Shalom.